Welcome, Charleston Southern fans, to the first episode of Quick Hits. I'm Anna Witte, and today we are joined by a member of the women's tennis team where we're going to get to know her a little bit and some of her involvement on campus. Her name is Tiffany Pyritz, and she is the president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, better known as SAAC. So, Tiffany, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and since I'm sure a lot of people tuning into this show have no clue what SAAC is, so can you just tell us what you guys do?
Of course. So it is Student Athletic Advisory Committee. In the past years, we meet like every other week on Wednesdays around like the afternoon. We just kind of get together, have lunch. We talk about new things that are going on. We kind of vote on what we think like our athletic department, like our vision is. So if things are going on at a conference level, we like to take that and talk about it at our school and how it affects us. And this year especially, it's a lot different. We're going to be doing a lot of virtual things, but we do a lot of fundraising just for our campus as a whole. We have Operation Christmas Child that we do every year, and we normally do a dodgeball tournament just to raise awareness for whether that's like a health organization or just any type of charity. We're also doing because of this election year, we're doing like a Bucks vote, kind of get out the vote thing for a lot of our like citizens here. We're trying to get as much participation as possible. So we're definitely going to be setting up like some more marketing ways of just trying to get the word out for people about that. We did a 5K, virtual 5K this summer. It's called Race Against Racism. And our conference, Big South, kind of took that because a few other schools did something like that. Big South kind of took that and was like, hey, we're going to do this at a conference level. So there is actually going to be a 5K in late October that hopefully a lot of us will be able to participate in, just kind of to show awareness for equality on campus and things like that. So, but that's kind of like what we're heading towards this year so far.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys have a lot planned for the school year. And basically, would you say that SAAC is kind of like the Players Association for Charleston Southern?
Yeah, I definitely would. It's definitely like a good safe space for kind of all of us to talk and really just kind of spill what we're thinking and what we want to do, like just as a community too, just not on our campus, but just to get like our community involved with the athletic program here.
So you're a junior and you're a president of SAAC. So how did that come to be, and why did you desire this position for yourself?
Yeah, so like I said, the previous year I was on the committee as an officer. I always told Lisa, who's kind of like Lisa Gilmore, she's kind of our advisor on the board. She was always like, whoever wants to lead, just like send me an email, like just volunteer, do whatever. So I let her know like, hey, I'm definitely willing to like lead and help support this group. Like I think it has a great vision. And my teammate Fem was the president. She was a senior the year before, and she was the president on our team. So obviously seeing her do it, I kind of like looked up to her and thought it was like, a great position and a great opportunity. We voted on it over the summer, and it came out to be me. So I'm now the president this year.
Yeah.
Which is exciting, but definitely like it's definitely been like a good spot for me because it's something kind of got me out of my comfort zone a little bit. And so that was like really helpful, I think, just for me personally.
So you're the president, and then we have COVID, and there's all these things that are happening on campus, and obviously Big South play has been halted for the fall. What are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing right now?
I think just especially over the summer, it was just every week there's different like announcements about whether like we were going to be playing, if people were going to be competing in the fall, if we were coming back, having classes. So like there's a lot of uncertainty. I think like there still is. And for all we knew, we were coming back, everyone was going to be competing and things were going to be just a little bit different with masks on. But sadly enough, like a lot of us have had to quarantine and practices have been stopped for a little bit, which I think in the long run is kind of a good choice because a lot of us need to get, just out of quarantine and better and just more used to this way of life now. But that's probably just been the biggest challenge. It's just life is just not the same anymore on campus. Like we have to adjust. We have to learn how to just do things differently and from socially distanced perspective, I guess.
Right, and all your meetings are on Zoom as well, which
Yes.
poses another challenge as well. But obviously SAAC is important to you and some of your other student athletes, but why do you think it's so important to the athletic department as a whole?
Yeah, so we actually, like this year especially, our voice is like very, very big and very heard because at the conference level, they are just trying to get a lot of information from all the SAAC committees at each school. Like we had a survey go out just about like if fall sports were to have to do 50% of their competition, like would they still want to play? Like they ask questions like that, which I really think they take into consideration and use that when they are really deciding and making decisions. Really heard at a conference level. And at our school, like our athletic director, Mr. Barber, and Lisa Gilmore, who's kind of head of compliance and things like that, like I think when we speak to them and kind of show them like what we think and our ideas, they've been really awesome, like respected and kind of really supported us. So although the committee is kind of like student run, we kind of like come up with ideas. Those two people have really helped us kind of just like at least like implement the ideas and like really go forward with like what we want.
So what projects in SAAC are you most excited about this year?
I think I'm really looking forward to the 5K that we're going to be doing in October, just because we did something like that previously this summer as just like as a SAAC at our school. And I think they took that kind of like saw a lot of other little schools doing it and said, hey, let's do it at a conference level. So I think that's going to be really exciting. We also do an Operation Christmas Child every year. And the whole campus is normally involved in that, but we do a portion as SAAC just to kind of get a lot of our athletes to participate. This year we want to do some incentives to get like more participation maybe, or just a way to come together, bond, we have a packing party. We kind of just get together one evening and just play Christmas music, wear sweaters or something, just do something fun. That's always like a good time. So those two things are like kind of like those main highlights I have for this year, but we definitely have a lot of little things we're trying to do that are new this year and just some fun things to add.
Yeah, I checked out your social media page on Instagram, and it looks like you guys are just trying to do different things to get not only the student athletes but the community involved, and I think that's so great. But let's ask a few questions about Tiffany. Let's get to know you a little bit better. So what do you study at Charleston Southern?
Okay, so I actually recently just added a second major this summer. I study accounting and finance, so I'm in the College of Business. I'm doing that. I mean, my mom has studied accounting in her like when she was younger, and my brother and my dad both did engineering, so it's kind of funny how we like kind of did exactly what they did. But we have a family business, so that is kind of the reason why I'm definitely more numbers based, and the math is my thing. So those just kind of came naturally, and I'm enjoying it so far. So if that takes me to help with the family business one day, that would be great. If not, I'm still excited. I hopefully want to sit for my CPA after school, maybe work for a firm for a few years, or just open up something on my own.
That's awesome. Wow. Those are two subjects that I feel like finance and accounting were a little different. I took both those courses. Mm-hmm. Finance was easier for like a words-based person, and accounting I felt like was easier for a numbers-based person.
Mm-hmm. It's like the computation and the reasoning of both. Yeah.
Right.
Stuff, yes.
Yeah. So what led you to want to play at Charleston Southern?
Yeah, so I have a friend on the team that I've known since I was probably 14, and we had played doubles in junior tournaments, and I saw that she committed here, and I hadn't really heard much of it, but my brother went to the Citadel to play tennis, and he's 2 years older than me, so I would always come down and visit him his first couple of years, especially because Nabia there is kind of they're very restricted on where they can go, things they can do. So I would come down and visit with my parents, and I was pretty close with his coach, and they don't have a women's team there, but he was telling me about Charleston Southern because it's like neighbor college, and I was like, yeah, I'll go check it out. And I met with the coach. They spent like the whole process was just really easy compared to everywhere else I had gone and visited. It just felt right. I talked to the girls like in the weight room one afternoon and kind of met with them, and they were super kind, and everyone was just like it just felt right. And he spent like the whole day with me. It's just very personal. And I also grew up with like a Christian background. My parents raised us that way, and I went to a Christian high school, and that was something that I knew like I wasn't sure if I wanted in college, and I was like, do I still want to stay in this safe space? But I'm so blessed that I've been here and been able to have that, just because I think when you are in college, you're trying to figure out who you are, and it's sometimes more difficult if you're at a place that you don't have a lot of people that think the same as you. It's a lot. I think it's a lot easier for me to be who I am and become who I'm who I am, just like in this space, because you have the same values as others and same beliefs. So I think that was also a big part of just kind of sealing the deal for me coming to school here.
I also noticed you were the only freshman on the team when you came in. Is that right? You were the only one who was new to the team at the time?
We did have one other girl that stayed for a few months, but she was international, and it was just not a great fit for her because she just missed home, and it was just a lot different here in America than where
Right.
she's from. So she did eventually leave, I think, in the middle of the first semester. But for season, yeah, I was the only freshman.
What was that like? What was that experience like?
Um, I liked it because everyone was like very nice, very kind. Right now we have one freshman, so she's kind of getting the same type of thing. You get the attention, which is good and bad. You get like some extra little duties to do or some things like, every freshman gets, but it's it was great because after like that first couple weeks, you just kind of feel part of the family. Like I think our team does a really well job of not really worrying about how old you are, or what like grade you're in. It's more just about like how we as a whole can be like close and motivated and disciplined. And so I think they're really good at transitioning you in and like helping you out kind of freshman year.
That's the bonus of playing on a team too, is like you're
Yeah.
automatically a part of the family.
Yes.
But the other thing that you said that you kind of touched on was international players, and you have a girl from Brazil, Sweden, you have girls from Germany, and then your coach is
Mhm.
actually from Romania. A
Yeah.
lot of teams don't get that kind of international experience and cultural differences. So, what's that kind of been like?
Yeah, I really love that. Like the years I've been here, we've also had girls from like Italy, Bulgaria, Czech Republic for a period of time. But the thing is I I always there is like on tennis teams there is a lot of international players in most schools, but obviously I grew up not having that in junior tennis. So having that here, it's really cool, just the diversity and just the different backgrounds and the cultures. um, I've definitely learned a lot, and I really appreciate them all kind of like opening up about that stuff, because I know like having to come here and they have a little accent that everybody's asking like, what's your life like back home, or like where are you from and everything, but they're always very like giving with information. They always like really want to like if you really want to sit down and ask, like they're very like open about just like helping you understand like what things are like for them and how it's different here. And I really like love that hopefully one day when travel is kind of a little bit easier that I can go and visit them and like, have a lot of places to go and see. So I do love that. I do love having diversity. I think it's taught me a lot, and it's just very valuable, I think, for a team too. Just from all different people coming together from all different backgrounds, it really like shows something special.
Well, playing wise, tennis wise, what is it like playing with international players? Is the style different in different countries?
It can be, but overall, like just Americans in general, people play differently too. So there are some like stereotypical, like you'd see one country maybe playing like really hard and flat, or one country you got some grinders out there, but like all court players. I mean, it just kind of depends. But the communication sometimes can be different in the beginning because you got to learn like how well you can communicate. But normally you kind of you get some chemistry with players, you figure out like what works best, and our coach is a big part of that. So she knows how it is because she came over here to the States to play for I believe it was FSU and for her college career. And so I think she is a good coach to have because she knows how it is to adapt and change and like learn how to play on an American team. So she's definitely helped us with some of the girls.
So obviously 2020, the 2021 season isn't going to look at all like the expectations you probably had back in February, which is crazy to think now. But how have you guys stayed focused as a team, and what are some personal goals that you have for this season and this year?
Yeah, so our team, we talk a lot. We're very close. This past year has been it's like we all turned into best friends. It's great. We just had a great group, and we were lucky that we only lost one, but and we only have one coming in, so we're still pretty small. I think we have 8 girls this year, but we only have 5 on campus currently because of just international travel ban reasons, just because of the virus. But we have all stayed calling each other once a week. We talk about just our personal goals, whether it's like, hey, I want to work on my volleys this week, or hey, I need to work on like staying in control and staying confident when I play, or things like that. So we're very close and we open up about everything, even though it's not as comfortable maybe over Zoom, but we're trying to say like, hey, like we would do this in person. We need to do this even though we're not in person. So by the time spring comes and everyone's back on campus, we are already comfortable we know everything that everyone's been working on and going through. So we can kind of step into spring just like running full speed. So some things personally I'm working on is just my like emotions when I play, my confidence when I play. I'm trying to be a really good supporter for my team. So it's funny, we're one of the teams in our conference. We're a louder team. We like to get really pumped up. We like to cheer each other on, whether that's like every point, just because it gives each other energy, and it also makes it really fun for everybody else. So it makes it fun for us, it makes it fun for them, and it kind of relaxes you. So we really focus on like supporting each other and just not showing any negativity, just being positive, because you can fake your brain when you're smiling, like to go through pain and things like that. So, and it really has shown to work. So that's kind of like our vision, is just being positive and confident. And hopefully we are going to get that ring this year. That championship ring is really our main goal, but definitely staying positive and working together is just how we want to get there.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys on the court this season. But before I let you go, I'm new to Charleston, so I love to ask other people, what's your favorite hangout spots in Charleston?
Okay, well, we go down to Folly Beach some, which is kind of a drive, but we also go to Sullivan's or Owl Palms. But we do really like the outlets. Tanger Outlets is pretty close to campus, actually. We go around there some, and I like anyone on my team. We just love to walk the streets downtown. Whether we sit at the Battery, have like a picnic, or just like walk around, see the houses. We'll just go back on some of the cobblestone streets and just like look at the architecture and just the colors, and it's just kind of peaceful just to walk around. That's something my teammates do, so I don't know if you'd be interested, like if you
Yeah,
like that kind
no.
of thing, but that's stuff we do together.
And that's something that you can do in a pandemic is just walk around town.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Tiffany. I really appreciate it. And good luck with this season and good luck with everything in SAAC this year.
Thank you so much.